another escalating crisis on the president's resolute desk in the Oval Office right now. North Korea is stepping up its threat against the United States, vowing, quote, catastrophic consequences. In response, President Trump tweets, quote, North Korea is looking for trouble. This comes just days before North Korea's biggest holiday, which could be celebrated possibly with another nuclear test or another missile launch. Let's bring in CNN correspondent Will Ripley, who's live for us in Pyongyang, North Korea. Will, North Korea's harsh rhetoric, it's hardly anything new, but the latest one seems to carry a bit more urgency, no?
It does, and what's really different here, I mean, we've heard North Korea threaten nuclear strikes against the United States before, but the way that the United States is responding, and specifically President Trump, is certainly unprecedented for the North Koreans. They've never dealt with a U.S. president who seems to get riled up with their propaganda and vice versa. And so you see this war of words really escalating. We don't have an official comment yet from Pyongyang. People are just now waking up. The 6-minute-long morning wake-up call that blares on loudspeakers across the city just wrapped up. And so we'll have to see what the official response is if it comes out in the coming hours, Jake.
Well, does the North Korean government look to President Trump's tweets? Do they respond to them?
They look at everything that President Trump and the Trump administration is doing. They look at his tweets. They look at the fact that he's deploying a carrier strike group that could arrive along the Korean Peninsula in a matter of days. They look at the airstrike on Syria, and they view all of it as an administration that is unpredictable, but that is much more likely than past administrations to conduct military action against this country.
President Trump once again pressed China to get involved with the North Korean situation in the tweet today, reiterating that the U.S. Is willing to handle North Korea without China if they don't get involved. Any new response from China?
Not yet. Perhaps later in the afternoon when the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Beijing holds their briefing, they might give some sort of a statement. But we have seen, and when I was in Beijing before coming here to North Korea, China hasn't been taking the bait. They haven't been responding directly to President Trump's provocative tweets. They haven't really allowed it to influence meetings. But at this point, after President Xi Jinping and President Trump met in person, perhaps China would have been willing, as a measure of goodwill, to try to make some concessions about dealing with North Korea. But this is not an economic issue for China. U.S. trade and the economy totally different from the political, geopolitical reasons why they continue to trade with this government. They don't want to see a destabilized North Korean regime because they don't want to see an entire Korean peninsula with a U.S. ally in control. That is not something that China strategically is willing to accept, which is why, despite nuclear tests and missile launches over the years, China has been reluctant to impose too heavy of sanctions on Pyongyang.
All right. Will Ripley live for us in Pyongyang, North Korea. Thank you so much, sir.